Welcome to the Talking Sport Report podcast with Scotty and Eggo.
Unbelievable.
Hello and welcome to the Talking Sport Report podcast. It is Sunday, the 29th of June. We record this on a Sunday evening, so if something has changed or has stuffed up, we apologise, but we can't see into the future. My name is Eggo. With me, as always, Scootus. How are you, sir?
Mate, happy Sunday night. Let me just kick off by saying, mate, happy birthday.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
It's getting close to midnight. How close were you to forgetting?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was, what is it? It's 9:15 now.
Yeah.
It's about 7:45, maybe. No, I've been holding off all day with the texts or social posts. I thought I'll drop it live on the podcast. So, mate, happy birthday.
Mate, appreciate it. 39, can you believe that shit?
Oh, Jesus.
Because you're younger than me, right? We're in the same year, but you were always, I think, September of the previous year or something like that.
No. I'll be 39 in October.
I got no idea
Getting
then.
Close. Yeah, getting close. 3 and a bit months, but let's forget about that. Let's move on. Where were we?
We're about to do a podcast. No, it's been a good couple of days, especially in sport over the weekend. Lots happening. And we've got a lot to get through tonight. We are going to be chatting about the Origin teams that are about to drop. Bit of controversy there, Scotty.
Oh, mate, 10 days out. As you're aware, New South Wales team's out.
Yes.
So
yes.
We'll go over that. We'll have a look at the predicted Queensland side.
Which is tough because when people listen to this podcast, you're probably going to hear the full side. But,
yeah,
I mean, from what we're gathering, most weeks at the moment, as soon as the teams are roughly outlined in the predicteds, they're pretty well where it lands.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, Queensland's throwing out the name of a guy that is playing solid football right now. Fantastic
get to him
football.
in a minute. We're also going to touch on the cricket. So there's a lot happening over in the Windies, in Barbados, but there's a couple of glaringly obvious questions when it comes to the Australian side. A little bit nervous getting close to the Ashes, and then finally we will go to the US of A and have a look at the amazing world of basketball. The finals have been one and done, but now it's trade season and it's draft season, and the Aussies have done a first since 1997 that we'll get back to you and tell you exactly what is soon. We've also got Comment Club coming up later in the show where we'll actually recap the votes are in for gold, silver, and bronze, the most hated players in the NRL.
Can't wait.
Ooh, there's been some hot votes throughout the week. But let's kick it off, Scotty. We're going to start off with another Talking Sport Report list.
I like it.
We want to get the gold, silver, and bronze and find out where are the best fans in the NRL. There's some really good fan bases out there, and there's some shit ones.
There are a lot of shit ones.
A lot of shit ones. So I thought the best way to do this is we want to do what we done for the last few. We want to throw a few thoughts out there who we think are in the top 10. Why? And then we want to get your vote. So basically, if you're listening to this, we'd like you to jump on our socials at Talking Sport Report, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or you can email us, talkingsportreport@gmail.com, and give us your vote on who you think, which club has the best fans in the NRL. I'll let you kick it off, Scotty. What's a club that took your eye in this format?
I'm going to start. So my first four are in no order in particular, but we're going to kick it off with Parramatta. It hurts me to say, simply because they turn out in numbers and they're so shit, but they still do it. They still show up. So they're getting a nod from me. Who you got?
Their fans are really impressive because haven't they had the longest drought or one of the longest droughts in premiership?
Oh, massive.
wins?
And every year's their year. Just ask them. Every single year. It's their year.
And I feel sorry for anybody who's in, even young kids now. But back in the day, Peter Sterling, Brett Kenny, like you were winning a comp every second year. Some back to back to back.
I think their drought's 86? Going on 39 years.
When we were born, mate.
Absolutely.
Such a long time ago. That's a good one.
They get a shout out from me.
Absolutely. That's rare from you, mate, because you
I know.
are up against
to
it.
say. It hurt to
All right.
say. Who you got?
My first vote for best fans in the NRL, the Storm. As Christopher Walken told Will Ferrell on that fantastic Saturday Night Live sketch from way back in the years, I need more cowbell. The fact that the Storm, no matter where you see them play, that damn cowbell, you hear it over the TV, that the cowbell gets brought out. They have got passionate fans that you're playing in a city that, A, doesn't even give a shit about NRL.
Exactly.
It's cold, it's wet, even when it's sunny, and it's gloomy Melbourne, and I love Melbourne, but it's gloomy. So if you're rocking up to an NRL game when you could walk across the road and go to the MCG, I'm giving you the win. That's a good one. So I reckon the Melbourne Storm fans, and they cop a lot of shit. They cop a lot of shit. They were number one on our last list of the most hated clubs. So if you've got the most hated club, yet you're the most passionate fan, that's pretty good.
That's not too bad, actually. They're two good lists to be on. Not even going to lie. My next one was a bit of a fan interaction. Jimmy, good friend of the show, he piped up and said Warriors.
Oh,
he said Warriors, and it's a massive gap to anyone else for the simple fact that their support is amazing. Vocal, loud, good numbers. So for me, that's more than enough for me to put them in my list.
Yeah, the Kiwis get into the rugby league, don't they? I know they love their union, but they are passionate rugby league supporters.
Absolutely. And I
they
tell you,
travel,
it's
bro.
amazing.
They travel.
It's amazing to see Sean Johnson in that crowd some games.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They're getting a shout out for sure, 100%.
And you got to give it to them. I mean, and Sean Johnson up the Waz. The Waz became a thing, right? And it's now become hated as much as it loved, but it's a big one, right? So that's always a good one.
I was trying not to say that.
I'm going to give the Canberra Raiders a shout out.
Yeah,
the reason why I think they've got the most passionate fans, or one of the most passionate fan bases, every game, if it's after 7 o'clock at night, and sometimes it doesn't even matter, it's -3 degrees. And they seem to pack out that Bruce Stadium in Canberra. They've got the Viking clap. That is now iconic. I know they stole that from overseas.
They've got their horn.
And they've got the horn. And they're so passionate. So I'm going to give the Raiders fans some there. I reckon they're pretty damn close to the passionate or most passionate in the NRL.
That's a good call. That's a very good call. All right, I'm going to top that. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Hey.
For the simple fact, again, weren't they on our list, most hated?
They were number 2 most hated club.
But I tell you, they have a massive average attendance. Biggest numbers for members every year. Every single year. I think they just cracked 50,000 members this season, which is massive. Shit time of year being Origin, but Broncos are getting another nod from me.
Yeah. And you know what? They, as much as they can be a very hated club, they have incredibly passionate fans.
They've got passion. They do.
Yeah.
They're on the list
give them their
for
credit.
sure.
All right, my next one, your boys, the Sea Eagles.
Oh, no, we don't travel.
You don't travel, but I'm not taking that consideration. I'm taking into consideration Brookie.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I know it's 3 Pines or whatever the hell it's called. It's Brookvale, all right? Shut up, it's Brookvale. You know what I mean?
Hats off.
When you go to Brookie, there could be 15,000 there and it feels like 50.
Yeah,
and
that hill.
Yeah, and they're passionate. They're like fired up. They will fight everybody, including their own players or their own coach. And I love that for passion. So you're going to get a little tick from me, Sea Eagles fans.
Take that. That's good. We don't often, but thank you. All right, I'm going to come in with boys across the other side. I'm going the Doggies.
Yeah.
Now that they're winning, they've come back out of the woodwork. For that simple fact, again, this all comes down to success because when they're shit, they know they're shit and they love leaving early. But when they're on fire like they are now, you don't know if you're going to get jubilation or riots after a win. You don't know. It's 50-50. And that's the kind of excitement you'll want in this competition. So the Doggies, you boys are getting a tick.
Yeah. I'm going to go Panthers as well. If you go west of Sydney, anywhere close to, Parramatta, to Penrith, like basically just after Parramatta on, you see so many flags. The town is just painted in Penrith colours, in the Panthers colours. They are so passionate about their side. And you know what? When you win as many grand finals in a row as they have, I'm sure you got reason to be passionate, but they do have a pretty good fan base.
Well said. Now, you've just said winning grand finals. My next fans, and the reason I've left them to last, they're on the other end of the scale. They don't win much anymore. They have been shit. Your boys, the Knights. How many wooden spoons have they picked up? But yet every weekend they pack that stadium out. A Sunday afternoon, don't even think about heading into Newey because you will struggle to get past traffic in and around that stadium. So for me, I know my list wasn't in order, but the Knights are taking the top spot. 100%. That support is second to none.
Yeah, they do live and bleed the Newcastle Knights. And, mate, during that wooden spoon run, when they were trying to challenge Penrith, hey, you know you can win 3 or 4 comps in a row. We're going to try and win 7 wooden spoons in a row. But you know what? They were getting to sell out crowds. They're passionate as all hell. So, yeah, no, I can see that. I think where my number one went to, controversial, but the Rabbitohs.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
There is a reason.
Name me a team, and I guess it's hard because not every team's had this opportunity, but they got kicked out of the comp. They marched the streets, and it looked like, an intense procession of people. It was just nuts.
You weren't sure if it was a South kick out or a dog's win? That's how intense that march was. Yeah.
Well, no, the difference was there was no burnouts.
Yeah.
You take the burnouts out of the procession, and it's definitely not the Bulldogs anymore.
That's a good point.
I've got to give the Rabbitohs that because they were kicked out of the comp. And look, St. George didn't do it. The Tigers didn't do it. Western Suburbs didn't do it. The North Sydney Bears didn't do it.
Manly didn't do it.
Yeah, South did. They got them back, and there's something crazy about a South Sydney supporter.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually really good. This is going to be a tough list.
Yeah. So we've done the hard thing. Now, a couple of omissions, and rightfully so. We didn't say Roosters. No. The Tigers still feel a bit toothless. Sharkies, maybe, but not great. Titans, is anyone a Titan supporter?
Well, they get 600 or 700 to a game, don't they?
They do.
Come on.
A lot of them are family members of the opposing team that have flown up for a Gold Coast weekend. Cowboys, you could say they go okay, and maybe a few years ago you could say they were the top. Dolphins, still new club. They're passionate, but they're not quite there yet.
Dragons, nah.
They can be
Didn't
a bit
even
up
give
and
them
down.
a second thought.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
I'm
there
happy
it is.
with that.
There's the list. If you want to vote, jump on social media now at Talkin' Sport Report. We'll chuck a video up this week. Vote for your favorite, and then we'll come back next week and do the gold, silver, and bronze. All right, into our first story, and it's the NRL and State of Origin. So the sides have been announced from a New South Wales point of view, and Scotty, basically no changes, as we didn't really think there would be. There's a couple of rumours floating around, but, I mean, overall, New South Wales played that second half like you kind of feel like Game 3 is going to go.
Yeah. I will say one thing I did notice, I think you and I might have jinxed our mate Matty Burton. I'm almost certain we said that no one's taken that number 18 jersey off him, and his good mate at the Doggies, Carraz, has taken the 18 jersey off Burton. Honestly, that's probably the most notable change for this side.
So true.
Yeah. Hopefully, like you said, the second half is a lot like New South Wales' first 40 in 10 days. Fingers crossed. I guess now it all just sits with Queensland and what they're going to do because, as we mentioned start of the show, there's a couple of names out there. One that I was a little shocked, but you did say playing amazing football in big Josh Papali'i.
Now, we called this last podcast. We actually did say that, right? We said they need to send out the SOS, Alan Langer, Andrew Johns, a.k.a. call out.
Yep.
I need the help. And you said he's coming back for Game 3. You actually said he's coming back for Game 3 and probably a dead rubber. But it's not a dead rubber this time around.
It's not. It's definitely not. But you also did say it last time round when we were talking about this, and I think it's safe to say again, poor Corey Horsburgh. What's that
teammate
poor
at the
bastard got
Raiders
to do? What's he got to do? I guess you said it, not have red hair.
Pretty much the only thing he's got left.
Poor bastard.
Imagine if Corey dyed his hair blonde next year when he gets picked.
Oh, he's straight in all 3 games, first name on the sheet.
Yeah, but playing
Don't
halfback
ask
or some shit.
He'll be playing for Australia. He'll be straight in. Straight in.
The Papali's a great in for Queensland. And,
massive.
And you know it's a good pick when you actually in your bones go, I don't want him being there as a New South Wales supporter. I still think New South Wales will absolutely rub them across the park, but I think he strengthens their attack.
One massive positive as well. You've seen it yourself, as did I. They've got amazing backup goal kicking now with Papali'i coming in. That was a solid strike, that was. So hats off. Overall, it's a good move from Billy. We know Billy's questionable at times.
Yeah.
But I like this one.
It's a good win. It's a good win.
Absolutely.
And
Big
obviously
loss.
Ponga is out. Ponga is
Big
out
loss.
from the Knights. A big loss on the weekend. Did his ankle, and from what I can gather, it would look like a high ankle strain, which is not good.
I've read reports season ending potentially.
I mean, it can't affect the Knights' numbers. I mean, I think they're chasing the spoon at the moment.
No, they're still good. So I guess after the last 2 weekends, you'd be stupid not to pick Reece Walsh in that spot.
Well, it's a good debate now because Reece Walsh, what a display on the weekend, right? So again, since coming back from injury, he's been pretty good, and the Broncos have found their form again.
That's true.
Do you have him at fullback, or do you put the big man, the big hammer, back there?
I mean, he did cross for 4 tries on the weekend, the hammer. No, I'd honestly chuck Walsh straight in, keep Hammer out on the wing. He was dangerous in that first half of game 2 on the wing. I think keep him there, chuck Walsh in at fullback, sit back, enjoy and watch the Blues wrap it up in game 3. Done.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah, lock
Put
it
money
in.
on
Lock it in now. No other surprises floating around. I mean, I know
really.
Nathan Cleary has kind of got a bit of an injury scare, and we've got a couple of options on our bench and our extended squad that could come in and jump in and replace him. But you'd think, I mean, Katoa's a great player, and he's going to be a future Blue for sure from the Dolphins.
Got to be.
But we need Cleary. The problem is, though, if he's playing, he didn't kick on the weekend. Who's kicking for the Blues? Is it Papali'i from Queensland? Should we just tell Papali'i to kick from Queensland?
I'm looking at it now. We're honestly, you've got to stick with Lomax, but I wouldn't mind seeing Latrell or Crichton have a kick. I mean, Latrell's nailing them from left, right, and centre. If it's a field goal attempt from 55 out, it's going to Latrell.
Yes.
Look, stick with Lomax. At the end of the day, you've still got Crichton there to back him up.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he misses his first, I told you, we'll go kick until you miss. Kick until you miss.
Yep.
Done. We'll be on our 4th goal kicker after our 4th try.
That's right. Now, before we move on to our second story, being in the cricket, I wanted to give you a couple of little brain starters to get your mind in ready for tonight. So, I've been doing some cheeky stat looking, and I found some really interesting lists that I'd love to get your take on and see if you can pick it. What I want to kick off with is, can you name from the current 2025 season of the NRL who are the top 5 players in order? It can be from number 1 to 5. You name them and they're in. Who have missed the most tackles.
Oh.
Now, don't consider this weekend as part of it. So it's from last weekend and beyond. So it's the games up to this point. But who do you think's letting their side down with the most tackles? I found these really interesting.
You know, it's a huge database to go through. But honestly, my first thought when you said missed tackles, I'm 100% going Alex Twal.
Ooh, no,
from the Tigers.
He is not there. No, it's more of a forward from the Tigers. I can tell you there is a Tiger in there though, which is a good sign. And you'd expect it.
Let's park that, because my next thought was 100% Moses Leota.
No, Moses Leota has not.
See how difficult this is?
It is. It's very, very tough. And I'm even trying to find him in the list, but again, no Moses Leota.
Okay.
I can tell you that there are 2 hookers in this list. There are 2 hookers in this list, and one of them would definitely,
Is one of them from the Tigers?
Yes.
So we're going Appy.
Appy Carousel's number 2.
Abbey misses tackles, does he? That guy is
yeah.
a fantastic footballer. I wouldn't have a missed tackle in his repertoire.
There you go. As
I'm
of
shocked
13
by
games
that.
play, he'd missed 59.
So he's doing well.
He's doing very well. He's doing very well.
Um,
And the other hooker is only a fraction behind him and playing for one of the top clubs.
Right, okay. My first thoughts, Canberra, but I don't think Canberra's missing many tackles.
No, Canberra did not make this
Hang on.
list.
Is he a grub?
Yes.
We are 100%.
Billy Slater. No, sorry.
I was going to say Gutho. No, top club, grub, got to be Reed Marnie.
Reed Marnie,
Gotta
he's
be.
number 3. 57 missed tackles.
Okay.
Talk about letting your team down. What is going on there? Nah, he does tackle a lot. I guess if you're tackling so many, like the hookers being in this list is not surprising. They also make 1 million tackles.
You know what? I'm going to throw a left field one out there. Jake Trbojevic on this list at all? Or his brother
No.
Ben? Okay.
No, they're not. I would have thought Ben for sure, but he is not in there. A couple of interesting ones that just missed the list to help you out a little bit. Cam Munster is sitting at 8th.
Oh,
Luke Brooks
okay.
at 9.
Oh,
And even Hudson Young at 14. So it's kind of like, I guess if you spend enough time on the park, you're going to miss tackles, right?
You're going to miss tackles.
Yeah.
I tell you,
Up the top of the list is a Warrior, too, by the way. The number 1 player is a Warrior. The number 4 is a Knight. And the number 5 is a Panther.
Warrior, Knight, Panther.
Now, the Warrior is also a Queenslander.
Oh, Kurt Capewell.
He is 77 missed tackles.
77.
So it's basically averaging 6 missed tackles a game.
Wow, that's fantastic. Good effort. Good numbers there from the Queenslander.
And the other 2 are Origin players for their respective teams.
Right. Okay. So
Not necessarily this year, but have been long-term Origin players.
see,
One
my Knights guess was going to be Tyson Frizzell.
No, definitely not Tyson.
Right. Okay.
Go further to the wing.
Bradman Best.
Yeah, he should be on the list. He definitely should be on. He doesn't play enough games though, Scotty.
So it's a good point. All right. Well, if we're going out wide, Origin, Knight, your only other option's Gagai.
Gagai it is. Dane Gagai,
Wow.
56 missed tackles. And the Panther in the second row, who's taken out the 5th spot,
Okay.
could also land in the grubby conversation and also a legendary conversation, depending on where you look at it.
Oh, legendary. Okay. Did he have a big grand final?
He did, and playing awesome in the Origin.
Liam Martin for sure.
Liam Martin is 54 missed tackles.
As well.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
There you go. So we'll
That's
come back next
quite a
week to another
list.
top 5. I'd love to get you to do another top 5, and I'll try and make it a bit easier for you. That was tough, but I think it's really interesting when you think about those sort of players when it's a tough one, mate. Missing tackles is bad, right? But
That's insane.
you wouldn't expect some of those on that top 5 list.
Wow, that's actually quite an interesting list. I didn't mind that. The only issue I have with that, it's such a broad list of players.
Yeah.
Like I'm shocked that Ben or Jake Trbojevic aren't on there. I'm not shocked Brooksy's on there. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, Brooksy's missing 3.5 a game too, so that he's no absolute legend when it comes to the tackling. Now, the cricket West Indies tour is happening right now, and the Aussies are a little bit shaky there, Scotty. I don't know how you're feeling heading into the Ashes later this year, but the general consensus is Australia can't bat, but we can fucking bowl.
You know, I'm almost certain you and I labelled this tour as a Ashes warm-up. It was far from it. I was shocked, absolutely shocked, when I found out that we'd been rolled on day 1 and taken 4 wickets.
Yeah.
That's I'm used to that, and you'd be the same. Growing up in high school, we were doing that shit to teams, but we weren't losing the wickets. We were coming out, we were rolling teams in the first day and scoring 100 runs before stumps.
Yeah.
It was woeful. I mean,
Terrible. Bowled
drop
out for
Marnus.
180 in the first innings.
drop Marnus, his replacement, Constas. He's done nothing since that ramp shot.
No, I know.
Like,
Isn't it a shame?
He's
3
young.
and 5 he scored.
Yeah.
3 and 5.
He's young, so he's got that on his side.
Yeah.
But the question is, how much more time do you give this kid? I mean, they gave Marnus a bit. Do you give him a good chunk of time, give him the rest of the tour, just to see if he can turn this around?
I think you give him a couple of years, bro. I think the only way you get a guy like Constance.
I'm harsh.
Yeah, you are harsh.
Hey?
No, the reason why I think you're right in saying that, but I always look to go, who's coming in to replace him that's got the same sort of stock that he has? And we know he can bat, and sometimes it's just about getting yourself accustomed to this. And I mean, as you said this yourself last week, which I thought was a really good point, there is just stuff all playing like quality cricket outside of the international scene.
Yeah,
so
of
you
course.
can go back and play for your club or play for Randwick and play. Oh, the great example is, all right, you want to talk about someone who's absolutely struggling. Cameron Green scores 3 in the first innings, comes out and scores 15 in the second innings. Little unlucky in the second innings, but still, he's been scoring hundreds over in county cricket. Everyone's like, oh, fantastic form. He may as well go out and play third grade in Maitland in New South Wales. Like, the level of county cricket is just shithouse, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's died off quite a lot. I'm now just again going through these scorecards. Before this game, my confidence level for the Ashes was like, yeah, this is sweet. We're playing in Australia.
Yeah.
You know yourself, it's been a long time since we've seen a series loss in Australia.
Yes.
We're great. At the end of that test in the Windies, I'm a little bit nervous about what is going to happen because you know yourself, the Poms will not hold back when it comes to giving the Aussies shit, and especially on home soil. We have to have a massive second and third test against the Windies to draw any confidence from this. Because like you said, fuck, we can bowl.
We can bowl. We can bowl better than, and if you look across to the other side of the world right now, playing in England, right? England are taking on India. So India, one of the best sides in the world. Their first test match, England scored 465 and 373. Now, India go out and score 471 and 364. So very tight match. Clearly it's a road. But having said that, you know, they're batting well, or they're batting a lot better than what we're batting, but they're not taking on the pace. I mean, this is the thing. When all else fails, just send out our 3 pacemen and they just rifle through any attack. It's like the one thing we've got. We could literally put you and I out and open. As long as we get a couple of nicks for 4 and get all bowled out for 15, I still think the Aussies can bowl them out.
I'm just going to ask you, because I'm now looking at this England and India side, and I don't mean to go off the rails too quick, but has there ever been a cricketer you've ever wanted to just punch in the face more than Ben Duckett?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm sorry, but holy shit. And that's saying something considering, you know, we've seen quite our fair share of cricketers come through Australia. I don't know. There's just something about that bloke. Yeah, what? Let's go to the 5th test in Sydney and I might say g'day to Ben.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can run into him out.
The good thing about the Aussies heading into the Ashes is a guy like Ben Duckett is you do have a test this year in the Ashes in Perth, I believe.
Oh.
And a test in Brisbane. Now, from memory serves me correctly, last Ashes we started with one of those 2 locations from memory, or we at least had one of them. And people like Mitch Stark coming in, bowling the pace out of the ball at your head from a short pitch delivery every couple of times can definitely rattle a few cages and can definitely give the Aussies the upper hand. But you got to think, we've got to sort out our batting. But I feel like our bowlers have got us covered from the Ashes point of view. But would you stick with Inglis? So Inglis is the other side guy they brought in. So the ring is Steve Smith is coming back into this side. So Steve Smith, injury in first test, finger injury. They reckon he's a certainty for game 2. Who comes out for Steve Smith?
See, that's tough as well. You know, do you shuffle? Do you maybe give Cam Green a little bit more time off? send Inglis down just a little bit, because at the end of the day, now Cam Green's young, which is fantastic, but at which point do Aussie selectors turn around and realise that we have to start building for the future?
Yeah, we do. And don't forget, Inglis scored 100 over in Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
So he has proven himself on the big stage. Webster has been bowling and batting great for us.
Good dictionary too. Very good dictionary.
Yeah, very much
Webster's
so. But like Webster, he goes out and scores 11 in this test, but in the second innings picks up 63. So without his knock in that second innings, we're stuffed. Carey's been doing a great job of getting some runs, but I just don't know whether Cam Green at 3 is our answer. You bring Steve Smith back in at 3 for Cam Green. You got Josh Inglis at 4, Travis Head, Webster, Carey. Pretty good lineup. And maybe Cam Green takes a rest for a bit.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe give him
because
just
even
a little bit more
Uzi's scoring runs now.
Well, 47 in the first, 15 in the second. Normally you'd look at that and go, well, that's shit. But given the circumstances, that's actually pretty fucking good.
Given where they're at. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think they stick with Constas for a bit more. Wait to see if the confidence builds, if he adjusts. Yeah. Maybe give Cam Green just that little bit more time off for Smith to come back in and keep Inglis. I know you're a big fan of Inglis.
You are?
And you are.
Oh, I am. I think he's the future.
And I know that's why I don't want to criticise the young kid. No, I've got no reason to anyway. Don't want to ruffle your feathers. I enjoy this on a Sunday night.
And you've just heard the last episode of the Talking Sport Report. No, you know who has got a lot of pressure on him right now? Michael DiVenuto. Now, that's a name I haven't heard for a lot of years.
You know what? I haven't. And you were telling me
batting
earlier,
coach.
Yeah. Did he do much for Australia?
Well, not really, but I tell you, he's not doing much as a coach either.
Yeah,
because
I know.
We're getting rolled left, right, and centre. Our batting over in the World Test Championship was piss poor, and now they've come into West Indies. They're batting terribly. You can't put it all on the coach, but I feel like it's got to start somewhere like that potentially and go, all right, do we need someone fresh in there who could come in and actually get them ready for the Ashes? Because right now, if it's not the bowling attack, we are screwed. Like Hazelwood, what a great second innings bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was the thing. The attack's doing well when Nathan Lyon had 2.5 overs in that second innings.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think anyone would be a better choice than Michael DiVenuto because he's not doing himself any favours.
No.
Unless this gets turned around, they really need to make some changes high up. And there's got to be some better options out there. God damn, bring Matty Hayden in. Him and Gilchrist straight off the bat. There you go. At least we'll be scoring runs. Might lose quick wickets, but fuck, we'd knock some tons. I can tell you.
Yes, 100% we would. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep watching that. The second test is coming up pretty soon, and we'll keep an eye on India and England overseas to sort of see where we're at heading into that final Ashes prep. Basically, end of the year, our Australian summer. Story number 3 tonight. We're heading to the US because the OKC have won the NBA Finals. They won Game 7. Now, you did an amazing multi-bet last week. We've got a new bet for you, a new tip for you to end the show this week. I knew you were in trouble when Halliburton went down in the second because you had him in that multi. Halliburton's their best player for the Indiana Pacers. Yeah.
I had him a few times.
You pulled the rug from him. I reckon it was your pressure that did his Achilles.
Do you know the best, or not the best part, but the only shining light was I got a bonus bet back because of his injury. So they were gracious.
You know what the real bonus bet is? They're giving you a bet back because they've gone, this guy has got no idea.
No.
If we just throw a little bit more burley out in the water here, he'll be swimming for a long time.
So that multi was 9 legs. I did manage to get 4 of the 9. Got to start somewhere.
Well, considering 2 of them were down to basically someone going out with an Achilles in the second quarter makes it very, very hard. But the OKC deserve to win that game. I mean, they've been the best side all year, and they win their first championship ever as the OKC. They have won a title as the Sonics, but you can't count that for OKC. So OKC Thunder have won their first ever title, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the MVP. So he was the MVP of the NBA season, the MVP of the finals, and a title winner. An incredible series and an incredible season for him. On fire.
Are you aware that there was an Aussie amongst that squad? We have another Aussie winner.
You did tell me that. I was going to tell you, no. Josh Giddey got traded. He got traded last year. He would have been an Aussie winner, but you found someone else.
I did. Now let's do a comparison. This guy, it's the equivalent of you're in the office all week and works decide to reward you with a free lunch. He's the guy that shows up for the free lunch, stands in the corner, has a good feed, and fucks off, and you don't see him for another 6 months. You just don't know. It's like you nudge your mate and you're like, who the fuck's that guy? His name is Alex Douglas.
Right.
He played 21 games and averaged.
He played 21 games.
21 games. He got himself a ring.
Wow, that's
averaged,
quality.
These stats are quality.
Right.
Per game, he
MVP
averaged
quality?
Almost. Brace yourself. In 21 games, he averaged 1.7 points a game and 1.2 rebounds a game.
And
but
the thing is, so Scotty,
he's got a ring.
That's right. He's got a ring, and he can come back and go to any bar with an NBA title ring and say, I am a member of the OKC Thunder. And he's probably 6 foot friggin' 10. So he's going to look like a basketball player. Now he's got a ring to go with. That's amazing. Yeah. So we have an Aussie, title winner. And I thought Josh Giddey, we lost our Aussie contingent there.
We have another Aussie just winning silverware in the US. That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. And speaking of Aussies, the draft just happened. So basically Monday, Tuesday, our time, the draft happens. They do the first round one day and they do the second round the next day because there's so many different people picked. There's obviously a lot. Now, we had an incredible 28-year first. 4 Aussies got picked in the draft this year.
Massive. That's huge.
Question,
isn't it?
without notice. Were they picked on day 1 or day 2?
Day 2.
They were picked on day 2.
You know how I know this? Because I read the synopsis from day 1 and they were anticipating the 4 Aussies were going to go on day 2. It's the only reason I knew that.
You don't want to talk ill of people who have made it this far. Congratulations
hats
to the
off.
Aussies. That if you can make the NBA, like even a shit contract over there will buy you a nice house over here, right?
A couple maybe.
But
a couple.
It's funny. We haven't done this since 1997. And this kind of shows you where we're at. The names were Anstey, Bruton, Rogers, and Pepper. What did they do in the NBA?
Fucking
I don't think I remember any of them. And I don't recall any of them doing too much. So I guess that's the unfortunate part. But a massive congratulations to Tui, Alex Tui, Tyrese Proctor, Rocco Zdarsky, and Lachlan Albridge. So basically all 4 of those were selected in the second round. And at the end of the day, I believe one of them, it might be, which one? One of them's going to Golden State. So not only can they say they got picked in the NBA, they can actually become good friends with Stephen Curry.
This is fantastic. It really is. I'm just having a look at him. Like Alex Tui, there you go. So he played for the Sydney Kings.
Yeah. Basically they've all been in the NBL.
He's gone to Golden State.
He's going to Golden State.
Yeah.
And you got Tyrese Proctor. Now, Proctor was actually playing for Duke. So that's one of the sides in the college league overseas who are really good. And the number 1 draft pick, Cooper Flagg, that's one of his teammates.
And Albridge is joining Giddey in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah.
So that'll be good. They might be able to room together. Who knows? That'll be cute.
Yeah. Do you reckon if Giddey's like, get the fuck out of here, mate. I'm the only Aussie here.
Yeah, definitely. Don't you be touching my fucking Cheerios, bitch. No, that's massive. Good on him. Just to get drafted is huge. Unbelievable. And you know yourself, you've done your research. You know there's a nice little check that comes with that.
Oh, yeah.
So hats off to him. Straight off the bat. That's brilliant.
It's not a bad way to start your life. You think about it, these guys are young kids, right? They're not old by any stretch. So if you can go to America, live over there like an absolute rock star, fly around all the different parts of America, especially if you're, have got nothing holding you back. You got family that can do whatever. You can make the cash, come back to Australia. If you've been an NBA player, you've only got to look at guys like, Luke Longley won a title, but that you could speak at basically every single, business event for the rest of your life and make all the cash you want by coming back or doing coaching and things like that. So you're pretty well set, right?
That's actually a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's honestly, they're hopefully names that we can keep an eye on and start see popping up in a few years. That'd be fantastic. We need more.
It's time for Comment Club. Normally I ignore all the comments. I get a lot of them. I've got to get paid for this crap.
Sorry, Scott, I had to cut you off there. Donald
that's all right.
wanting to come in.
Yeah, Uncle Donald. Always times for Uncle Donald.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So the Comment Club, we do this each and every week. Basically, if you leave us a really cool comment or a message on one of our stories, or you can email us, talkingsportreport@gmail.com. We will read out your comment on the podcast to wrap up the show and basically let you have the floor. But before we get to that, Comment Club, we've been kicking this off the last few weeks with the votes we get from the previous week. So last week we spoke on this podcast about who was the most hated player in the NRL. Yes. We got belted with votes.
Oh, so excited for this.
Yeah. Now there was a lot of different people that sort of floated around this list that we forgot. We never mentioned a couple of special mentions. I'll do at the top. Liam Martin missed out on this list.
Oh, see, he's just a good footballer.
Yeah, but I can understand. He's in your face. If you're a Queenslander, you're not liking Liam Martin. I just don't think you would. And I guess if you don't like the Panthers, then you're not going to like someone like Liam Martin. DCE, also another one who was hot on the special mentions. But it is time to go through the gold, silver, and bronze of the most hated players in the NRL. Thanks to all your votes. Incredible amount of votes. I mean, we don't want to be all about hate, Scotty, but
no,
man, the passion comes out when you talk about these.
Oh, come on, hit me. Who's taken bronze?
Bronze is a tie. Oh, yeah. We literally couldn't split them.
Okay.
You're going to like this too.
Yep.
Tied for third place, Nathan Cleary of the Penrith Panthers and Reece Walsh of the Brisbane Broncos.
Wow. I'm shocked,
not surprised.
Though. I'm shocked Walshy wasn't a little bit higher. I mean, he's on the podium, but I thought he'd be a bit higher. Wow. There's some good players to come in as tied third.
Yeah, exactly right. And you got to think of it this way. Don't forget, if you're running the 100-meter sprint, the difference sometimes between first, third, and fourth could even be 0.3 of a second. You know what I mean? Like just like a nose hair could be between them as they bob their head at the line.
Or a neck in DCE's case.
Or a chin in Nathan Cleary's face. Yeah, he may have been one chin ahead of fourth place.
Yes.
Coming in silver. Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
I thought this guy was almost a certainty to take out the gold.
Can I have a guess?
Go for it.
Jerome Luai.
You got it, baby.
Oh, I can't believe he's not first.
He missed out on the gold.
He gets so much shit on socials and in the media. I honestly thought it would be a foregone conclusion that we won't even have to tally first.
No.
Wow.
And don't worry, he got a lot of hate. He got a lot of hate in this one. But I think, and I think it's interesting now because he gets the New South Wales hate. Mm-hmm. He gets the Panthers hate, and now he's getting the Tigers hate.
Yep.
So that's where he got it. That's where he got it from. But it is time for the gold medal.
Holy shit, this is going to be huge to beat Luai.
Can I just say the gold medal was, if we're talking running races, he was a good stride ahead of Luai.
Okay.
And it's all based on news. You go back 12 months ago, this guy was not getting the gold medal by a long stretch. But he's getting it this year because of what's happened, I believe. The number one, the gold medal, Ezra Mam.
Oh, yes. Our mate Ezra.
Can you believe? I didn't think he would get the most hated.
Not Ezra's mum, Ezra.
He won by a landslide in the votes.
A landslide. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you put it into perspective like that, that makes perfect sense. That's why he has beaten Jerome Luai. That's massive, that is.
Couple of other special mentions you got to give. I mean, don't at me. This was completely a vote made up by people who voted, right? Some big vote getters who just missed out. Like I'm talking just missed out. Latrell Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very high on these lists. So he just missed out. Reed Marnie.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
Reed Marnie just missed out. And the other one that was very, very close, Cam Munster.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, that was a fantastic gold, silver, and bronze. And not going to give anything away, but I'm pretty sure you and I have some fantastic lists coming up. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm praying everyone that voted on that gets on board for the most passionate fans, because that's going to be a ripper next weekend.
Absolutely. All right, the rest of the comment club, we had some good comments this week who also came through that weren't a part of that. Got to give Steffi J a big shout out. This guy's a legend. He's been following us for a fair bit on TikTok, most likely. I think it's on Instagram too, but the most of his comments come through on TikTok. He wrote, not a hot take, but factual. If you dropped Nathan Cleary into a team like the West Tigers, he'd be a mid-range player.
Oh, 100%. And I agree with that. Good mate of mine, Jono, he's said it for like the past 2 years. Yeah. 2 years. He 100%. That is probably one of the best comments. He's correct. Yeah, factual, not a hot take. Factual. Well said.
So you reckon that's what it's at? You reckon Nathan Cleary is because of the team around him?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
He's got a great kicking game. He's got a great mental game and he can direct the team around the park. So why wouldn't he be able to do it? I can get Jerome maybe not being able to convert to the Tigers because he's not a traditional halfback, but I reckon most teams that take Cleary could become a pretty good team.
One solid argument you could have against that is he single-handedly won them that grand final against the Broncos. But
it was all him.
It was. But I think the team around him for that many years has molded him into the player that he is. You uproot him now and send him to the Titans. You send him to Manly. I don't think there'd be that kind of success.
Send him to Newcastle. That is the ultimate test. If he could take the Knights from the wooden spoon to even, let's say, 10th, greatest player of all time.
Too bad you spent all your money on Dylan Brown.
Oh, Dylan Brown. What the hell were they thinking?
That's
fantastic. Come on, get Fogarty, for fuck's sake.
That's
get
brilliant.
Someone. Unbelievable. But yeah, you're probably right. Steffi J, legend, mate. Thank you for your comment. He also wrote, guys like Tedesco left the Tigers. He was a great player, but never received a tangible. He went to the Roosters. And now Luai is at the Panthers. But I think Cleary's a step above all them. And I reckon he would do, maybe not. Okay, does he win a premiership with the Tigers? And the current form, maybe not. But I think he's I still think he's one of the best players. But that's interesting. You're on the side of you don't think he does jack shit outside of the Panthers.
No, I didn't say jack shit. I just don't think he'd have that kind of success. He'd be sitting around mid-table.
Okay.
They'd be flirting with 8th through 10th.
Right.
So we are talking about a lot of positive comments. I have one that I think struck a nerve.
Ooh.
Good. Yeah. Good friend of the show. Listens every week religiously. Jimmy Haig.
Yes.
Got a bit defensive, didn't he? I mentioned Gutho as most hated player, and he's a big Para fan, Jimmy. He didn't appreciate that, but then when I come out and mention Mitchell Moses, he was far from impressed. I'm almost certain the hate mail I'm receiving written in crayon, 90% of it's from Jimmy. It's got to be after those Mitchell Moses comments. So, Jimmy, I do apologise.
Written in crayon?
Yeah, written in crayon. I don't think he got a pen licence.
It was tough to get. I never got one.
I play with one. I don't write with it, though.
Yeah, that's that one. Your mum took the ink pen out of the middle, didn't she? It's just got the clicker.
Yeah, just the clicker. See?
That's good. Oh, well, Jimmy, we do love you, Jimmy.
We do love you, Jimmy.
He did threaten to leave the podcast after all the Parramatta bashing, didn't he?
Sorry, Jimmy.
Another one of the shout outs for Prince_Gilroy. This is our man, Luke Gilchrist, legendary Maitland guy. He wrote 3 episodes in, lads, and loving it so far. Less manly talk, please. The glory days ended in 1997 after the 8th finish. Hang on, he said, here's to the 8th immortal and plenty more episodes. So he's about to jump into the 8th and 9th episode. Basically, he jumped in and went back and listened to every single week's episodes, caught up today.
Wow.
Impressive. Like, that is not even Mrs. Hughes, your mum did that.
Nah. Do you know what? She started following us today. Random fact.
Really?
I don't know if she'll listen, but she follows. Follows.
Don't say a word. And she does comment saying, Scotty, I heard that.
So that's a good point.
We'll see how that goes.
Oh, keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Love you, Mum.
Thank you, Mr. Luke Gilchrist. Absolute legend. And
thank you. That's brilliant, actually. That's fantastic.
Maitland Hardman, Maitland, New South Wales. So it's good to see some followers from our hometown of Maitland, which is really great. So anytime you want to be a part of the comment club, just jump in, write us a message in one of the comments on our posts at Talkin' Sport Report on Instagram, TikTok, and of course on YouTube as well.
Bingo.
Scotty, let's wrap this baby up. Last week you had no luck with the tip of the week. Where are we going this week? Where are you going to win our money back? So we've got to double up our bet, right, to win the money back.
Yeah, so I've done a bit of searching on Sportsbet.
Yep.
The FIFA Club World Cup is on, which is quite a strange format with the list of teams and things like that.
What is it?
I found, I can't even explain the premise, but you have a look at I'm just opening it up now. You look at some of these teams, like at the moment, PSG in the morning are going to play Inter Miami. Man City
Really?
are going to play Al Hilal.
So how do you get in this? How do you get into this? Is it something that you have to qualify for?
Well, you do, but let's put it this way. Bayern Munich played, aside from Auckland, and 90% of these Auckland players had to use annual leave and leave without pay to travel over here. They were open about that. Some of them are like, I'm not getting paid by my employer at the moment because I just wanted to come and play Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich beat them 9-0, awesome. I think. 10-0.
How cool would that be
like
to say you've been on the same pitch as Bayern Munich?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I did open it. I haven't watched a single game, but they are in the round of 16, and I have found 6 sides that are about to play between this going live and I think tomorrow morning.
Right.
Actually, no, Tuesday, the last game. Yes, all of it. Club World Cup, and we're going.
Amazing.
Man City, all to win. Man City, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and PSG. Those 6
They all
legs.
feel like clubs that are actually should be winning. Are they all really, really short? Like, and they're playing old mates Parramatta RSL club?
No, my issue is I don't know how many of them are actually going to be playing, 17-year-olds that are coming through or the reserve side.
If you're a reserve or a 17-year-old for any of those clubs, you are better than the Parramatta RSL seconds club that's obviously playing in this comp against you.
So this multi for $1 will return $11.56.
Right, that's not a bad return for what you'd say almost a certainty win.
Well, that's my concern. In other words, if I put 20 on it, I'm losing 20, I reckon, because it's my bet. But I will put this on, and we'll check back in next weekend.
Put $100 of fake Talkin' Sport Report podcast money, and then let's see how much money you got next week. We should almost start a running tally. You know what we should do? We should give you like an allowance, fake money allowance. You've got to keep track of it. And at the end of the year, we see how much we would have made if we would have made those bets a reality.
Okay, so we're starting.
$100, you know what? You get every week for our tip of the week, you've got $100 to bet on.
Righto.
So you divvy the $100 however you want to divvy it up. And then we're going to keep a running tally of exactly how much money you've made back. And it's going to be easy because even for us as dumb fucks, we'll be able to go 14 episodes times 100 is $3.50. We'll be able to do the simple maths to work out how much you've spent.
So just then, all right then, and I've just double checked the odds. It's actually $11.95.
Good.
So,
all right. So you're a
you
chance
and
of getting
I-
almost $1,200 here.
It'll be a good start. It'll be a very good start. All right, we're on.
And then
We'll
if you
check back
are
in.
successful, at least next year we can actually give you real $100 and see if you can turn it into some serious cash,
Brilliant. I like
which
the
we can
sound of that.
spend on the Talk and Sport Report Christmas party.
At least you're not paying for bloody brass bands and stuff anymore.
Very, very true.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Talk and Sport Report podcast for another week. Please, as you can, jump on our socials through the week and vote for the best fans in the NRL. We want to find out exactly which fans are the best. There's a fantastic list there that we went through. So that video will go up later. Give us 5-star review if you get a chance on our podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube podcasts. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. And of course, anytime you want to get in contact with us, you can email us, talkandsportreport@gmail.com. Any final words, Scotty? Final words of wisdom before we get ready for next week? Next week, a big Origin preview show.
Massive. No, just another happy birthday, mate. I hope you've had a ripper day. I hope this was a lovely end to your night. And, mate, I think we might do it all again next week.
Love it. Peace, love, dove.
See you, bro.